Good day, everyone. Today I want to talk about why somebody should choose engineering as a profession. Currently in the engineering space, unless you're really going into maybe programming or software engineering, there's a lot of competition in that field. But for everybody else going into electrical, mechanical, chemical, biomed, civil, whichever one you pick, there is endless opportunity. And I'm going to talk specifically about my experience in the electrical industry, specifically the power industry. However, this applies generally to all engineering. A lot of people are retiring, and they're going to be retiring very soon. There's going to be a massive void that needs to get filled up by people in the middle, and therefore people that are just starting out are going to have to move up to the middle and so on and so forth. If you're willing to put in the work, there is a ton of potential waiting for you there. Secondly, engineering provides great stability. So the past few years I was working in the startup space. I had my own company, and really that was an up and down roller coaster ride. And while it was very exciting, the stresses were very real, and I never really felt much stability. And of course, when my wife became pregnant with our firstborn, that starts to creep into your mind, and I was craving a bit more of that stability. If you work in one of these old industries, such as power, companies need power to run whatever it is that they're doing. So for instance, the company that I work for, the past 2-3 years during COVID, they've actually done a lot better than expected, and I think those are their 2 best years actually. Another good example would be, in auto manufacturing or even in civil, and anywhere in the civil space. Those are always going to be required by society, right? You're always going to want to turn your lights on. People always want to be able to heat their house, all right? Or businesses need power to run their machinery, or even just to light up the office buildings. Well, I guess during COVID, we don't have offices, but anyway, you get the idea. So in these core industries, we'll call them, they're old school. They're not very sexy, which is why I think a lot of people right now are driven to sort of new places such as software engineering and programming, because, that those are new industries. However, you do have to weigh, what that risk could mean to you. There's a lot more competition in those fields. People are very talented. A lot of those companies, of course, they're going to be startups, and it'll be that roller coaster ride. And you never know what might happen. With the stability, that brings you a much needed calmness in your mind, in my opinion, to enjoy your life and whatever it is you're trying to do. A third thing that people don't really think about is when you're an engineer, this stability provides you actually greater risk tolerance. So whenever I was working on my startups and I had left this industry in the past, I always knew in the back of my head that, hey, you know what? If everything goes out the window and nothing ends up working, I always have an awesome profession I can go back to. And that always provided me the idea that I could always take greater risks. So I knew that, okay, well, I can take more time working on this project, or I can spend more money doing that, because I knew that I would always be able to go back into engineering, which is really what I'm doing right now. I had a lot of failures. Some things went well, many things did not go well. I needed to regroup and get myself more stable, and took on a new challenge, and here I am now. Likewise, if you're currently employed working as an engineer, all the stability that we talked about allows you to take greater risks into potentially pursuing some other investment opportunities or side hustles or anything else that you might want to do in your leisure to try to grow and expand. And I think that's sort of a priceless thing to do. You can actually take greater risk knowing that you're most likely going to be fine even in a recession. Okay, I'm not saying to be careless. However, those things can get, for instance, if you wanted to, you could speculatively invest in crypto if you wanted, and see what happens. You can roll the dice a little bit more knowing that you have a secure position, especially if you're very valuable and very good in what you do, which I'm hoping that should be your goal. Finally, fulfillment is one thing that I think is understated. If you're going to your job and you don't really feel that you're contributing to society, this is on a higher level here. You've probably seen Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and the topmost one is where he talks about inner fulfillment. So of course, our core needs are taken care of, shelter, food, water, all those types of things. But the very top is what makes you fulfilled. I don't think you actually have to enjoy the type of engineering that you're doing to feel this. If you work on whatever it is you're working on and that benefits other people, that'll satisfy an innate core idea okay, of contributing to society, to the community. So for instance, now when I send out a set of drawings, I know that will affect people, because now we're either routing power to them, or a client is having their business powered up so that they can provide more services. You're building the world in a way. And that to me, brings some slight fulfillment. And I think that should not go understated. You feel good about the thing you're doing, okay? Oftentimes, if we're just doing it for the money, you don't quite get that same response. So those are some of the things that make me want to be an engineer, that make me very proud to be an engineer. I hope some of this stuff helped you out, and if it did, please give me a comment below. Tell me what you liked about the video, what I can do better. I'm always looking to improve, and hopefully I get a little better with each video. But please subscribe, like, and give me a comment, and I'll see you on the next one.